Salutations everyone, and welcome to another episode of Brainy Previews. In this episode we'll be previewing the game In Case of Emergency, release Raptor by Arcen Games, who are noted for games such as AI War Fleet Command, The Last Federation, and Bionic Dues. In Case of Emergency, release of course they have to have a tongue-twisting title. In Case of Emergency, release Raptor is a 3D stealth action game that currently is unfinished, but that's deliberate. I was sent this game for free before they even put it up for early access like they're planning to do on the 17th, just to try it out, and if I wanted to I could make a video, so I decided, why not? Now, before we go into the actual gameplay that they have so far already made, let's go into the settings. And for that, they basically have a wide breadth of display and graphics options, as well as a bunch of presets on game quality. But all of this is set in Launcher. You can basically customize the game to however you need to. But this was intended for more recent PCs, so if you wish to play it, with like a 5-year-old PC, there might be very slight performance issues. Slight, maybe, probably not, in all honesty. But my computer runs it just fine. I haven't noticed any frame drops or anything like that while playing the game. And sound, there's a disappointment of you can only mess with the volume of the entire game. I would like to actually turn down the music but turn up the sound effects of the game. But aside from that, it's actually in fairly good balance if you're playing it, not if you're recording it. And they have a fully functional level editor, which is basically this game's main point as of now. And I will explain that when we get into the actual gameplay. Now, they only have 2 levels available, and the main point of the game is what I will show you in the industrial demo. As you can see from here, load times of this game aren't actually very long, at least on my PC, which I'm trying to remember, but I think this motherboard maybe is 5 to 7 years old at this point. Not like that matters much, it's mostly what you have available, and I know that the processor was updated recently. So, anyway. Now, I did mention that this game is supposed to be a stealth action game. As of right now, it's not really. It's more of a speedrun score attack, because I'm going to be stealthy. As of right now, you can't hear me move, you can't hear me attack, but, and I say this is a big but, I'm already found, and I've been hit, but you can see that I've taken a hit and my character hasn't even been damaged. And that's just because a lot of the core gameplay is currently not available. So I say, you can follow this game's development, but the core gameplay is not yet there. What they intend for this game to eventually be is a procedurally generated level system where your main goal is to get to the end and destroy the boss. But the boss becomes harder to destroy the more robots that see you, which robots are the main enemy of the game. You are to destroy any robots that happen to see you, using your primary attacks of either biting, slapping them around, or leaping. Which, as you can tell by a lot of the assets, the game's not finished, but they're fully aware of this, and they sent me the game to give, a little presentation of anyway. Now, mostly what they have finished is that the actual assets of the game look fantastic on the Unity engine. And there's it's very dark, but that's just because personally I prefer it darker, as the entire point of the game is that you're supposed to play and feel as if you are a raptor, which is it's an excuse for the actual point of the game is that they wish to test out making 3D games. For the games I've listed and mentioned, if you happen to know what they are, and for most of you probably not, the games mentioned are all two-dimensional. They have not actually made a 3D game before, and this is kind of their first foray into attempting to do that. And so far, it actually looks pretty nice. It plays just fine, because I'm basically running around at high speed, even if you can't see me jumping around all the time. It definitely looks pretty. The AI is hard to hit, but that's just to be expected for little spiderling droids like this, because they don't have many creatures yet. Yeah, well, I destroyed all of them. Oh no, there's still one. There we go. and I've taken a ton of hits, but this is a score attack style mode, which is eventually to turn into full. They'll have a timer in there in addition to having the hits taken. It gives you a bunch of hints at the end, but that's basically all that's available in this preview build. Now, there is a level editor, and from what I've seen and messed with myself, it is designed to be able to allow you to do anything. Because a lot of the images we've seen online were for other people's levels, or levels that they just created in their spare time. And the level editor is fully functional. It's just I personally don't want to mess with it because it might take a very long time to be able to do so. However, the game's not even available yet. This is just a preview after all. I guess I could screw around in the demo, which has a few other enemy types, such as, I believe, a bot that can't even fight back, and wall-mounted turrets, or ceiling turrets. So, there are a lot of things available. There are a few things available in the game, where they promise a lot more content, but have been pushing back the release date time and time again to ensure that they actually have the bugs fixed. So yes, while the game isn't available, they promise more content on release, such as the procedural generation that they intend for the full design, along with a bunch of side objectives true to Arcen Games form. This one right here, if I remember correctly, can't actually fight back against you. It just serves to be annoying. But as you can see, a lot of the animations are currently not yet finished. This thing is just designed to run away from you. Anyway, aside from all that and a lot of the other fantastic effects, this is mostly just a graphics and engine demonstration. When the game's fully released, it will have a little bit more than that, but I would highly recommend you at least take a look at it. You can find it on the main website if you truly are interested in this sort of thing, mostly from a level editor aspect. Now, what they intend to do with the pricing of the game when it's released is that initially it's supposed to be like a $5 release. They don't expect much out of it, but since they are building it over time through early access, as defined even in the demo here, they're going to release the game for a very cheap price and only make it more expensive if they add like truly outstanding features to it. Now, it sounds a bit sketchy, but Arcen Games has delivered before. If you take a look at their track record of other games, it's fairly fine. I just say, look at it and judge it for what it is as of right now, as more of a demo than an actual game, until they put their primary gameplay elements in there. But aside from that, it's overall interesting to do with your spare time. If you're into level editing and designing for non-standard gameplay ideas, go right ahead, because this would be a fantastic game for you to mess with. If this isn't really your thing, I would suggest watching it at least until they put in their main gameplay element, then judging it after that. Now, I myself will wait and release a second review video once they have the primary gameplay element and procedural generation in here. But until then, this is just a work on the drawing board and a bit of a look at in case of emergency release Raptor. If you enjoyed the video, remember to like, comment, or subscribe, for it helps out a great deal for me personally. And I hope to see you all next time. And if you're interested, I'll just leave it in the description below, a link to basically their main development blog, and at least the showcase they have on their main website, so you can be lazy and just open it up from there. But until then, so